The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. It was the kind of silence that came right before something terrible, or something unforgettable. Inside the grand hall of the Galaxy Council, hundreds of alien leaders sat in a circle. Their faces showed fear, anger, and pride. In the center of the room, a blue hologram of Earth slowly rotated in the air. Every alien in the chamber stared at it like it was a monster. A thin, tall alien leader, High Speaker Vorta, stood up. His voice echoed across the hall. "Today," he said, "the Galaxy Council has voted. Humanity must be stopped." A heavy wave of whispers filled the room. "They grow too fast. They are unpredictable. They are dangerous. They fight like no other species." Vorta raised his hand. Silence returned. "Humanity has crossed the line," he continued. "They expand into war zones, survive impossible planets, and challenge ancient empires. Their strength increases every year. Their technology advances too quickly. Their spirit never breaks." He paused. "And now, they refuse to obey our rules." The chamber darkened. A red message appeared above the hologram. War declared, target, humanity. The words glowed like fire. Every world across the galaxy received this same message at the same moment. Billions of aliens saw it and gasped in shock. Some celebrated. Some panicked. Some prayed to their gods. But far away, on one small blue planet, something strange happened. Earth did not panic. Earth did not cry. Earth did not tremble. Earth smiled. The council watched the reactions from hidden satellite feeds. Human cities lit up with news screens announcing the declaration of war. Crowds gathered in public squares. Families, workers, soldiers, children, everyone looked up. Then something unexpected happened. They started smiling. Not a happy smile. Not a friendly smile. A calm, confident, dangerous smile. A smile that made the alien leaders feel cold inside. Commander Raltek, a warrior species general, leaned forward in confusion. "Why are they smiling?" he demanded. "We just declared war. They should be afraid." But they weren't. On Earth, a group of human soldiers stood outside a military base. One soldier laughed softly. "So, they finally did it," he said. His friend nodded. "Guess it was only a matter of time." There was no fear in their eyes. Only readiness. Back in the council hall, the alien leaders argued loudly. "This is wrong. They should surrender. Why are they so calm? What are they planning?" The fear inside the chamber grew like fire feeding on air. A small alien messenger ran into the room holding a data pad. He was shaking. "Council members," he said, "we have received reports from all human colonies, and they all show the same thing." He tapped the pad. Holograms appeared, videos from different human worlds. On Mars, colonists smiled at the news. On Titan, miners looked at each other with raised eyebrows, then calmly returned to work. On the Kuiper Belt stations, pilots prepared their ships without a single sign of fear. "It is the same everywhere," the messenger said. "Humans are not panicking. They are not running. They are not hiding." He swallowed. "They are smiling. All of them." Gasps filled the chamber. Speaker Vorta's skin turned pale green. "This is not normal," he whispered. "This is disturbing." Commander Raltek slammed his fist on the table. "It is a trick. Humans want to look strong. But inside they are weak." But no one believed him. Everyone had studied humanity. Everyone knew the truth. Humans do not smile in fear. Humans smile when they are preparing for something. Humans smile when they are ready to fight. And that was terrifying. On Earth, inside the United Human Command, the Director of Defense stood in a dark room, looking at the war message. Around him, officers waited for his orders. "So the Galaxy Council finally declared war," he said quietly. His second-in-command nodded. "What are your orders, sir?" The director smiled, the same cold smile seen across Earth. "Order the fleets," he said. "Activate all hidden programs. It is time." A deep alarm tone echoed through the base. Across the solar system, secret human projects came online. Massive engines waking up, ancient bunkers opening, hidden weapons powering on. Human ships began to move, but not toward battle lines. They moved into the shadows of space. Silent. Purposeful. Controlled. Not afraid. Back at the council, the alien leaders watched the human silence with growing dread. "They are not reacting like a species who fears destruction," one alien whispered. "They are reacting like a species who has been waiting for this moment," another said. Speaker Vorta felt a chill run down his spine. Why did they smile?" he asked. No one had an answer. Until the old historian of the council, an ancient insectoid alien, spoke softly. Humans smile, he said, because they have faced extinction before. Many times. And every time, they adapt. They unite. They become stronger. He looked at the hologram of Earth. And that smile means one thing. They are ready. The chamber fell silent again. A silence far more terrifying than the first. Because now, every leader understood the truth. The Galaxy Council had just declared war on a species that was built for survival. And humanity's smile was not a reaction of fear. It was a promise. A promise the galaxy would soon regret. The Galaxy Council chamber did not calm down after the war declaration. If anything, the fear inside that hall only grew stronger. Alien leaders argued so loudly that their voices echoed through the crystal walls. This is madness. Humans are unstable. Humans must be controlled. No, humans will destroy us all. The shouting never ended. Only one thing united them now. Their fear of that human smile. The old warning. At the far edge of the council table, an old insectoid historian named Tarkhan Var tapped his claws nervously. He had studied thousands of wars, thousands of empires, thousands of destroyed civilizations. Slowly he stood. Everyone listen, Tarkhan said. His voice was thin but carried weight. This council has made a mistake. A great mistake. The room went silent. He motioned toward the frozen hologram of Earth. You fear humans because you do not understand them. You judge them based on your logic. But humans do not follow normal logic. A reptilian general scoffed. They are primitive. No, Tarkhan said. They are survivors. The most dangerous kind. He raised his datapad. During the first contact years, our scouts observed something important. He paused. When humans are angry, they shout. When they are hurt, they cry. But when they are about to fight for real, when they are truly ready, his voice lowered. They smile. Several alien leaders shivered. Tarkhan continued, that smile means they have already decided to win or die trying. They do not stop. They do not surrender. They do not retreat unless it helps them strike later. Then he looked directly at Speaker Vorta. And you declared war on them. Vorta clenched his fists. The council cannot fear one small race. Tarkhan whispered, then you will fear what comes next. The confident council. Not everyone took Tarkhan seriously. The larger, more powerful empires laughed. The Yalkor dynasty leader grinned. Our fleets outnumber theirs 10-1. The Iron Dominion commander nodded. Our armor is stronger. Our technology is superior. The Krail Hive clicked their mandibles proudly. Humanity will fall easily. Confidence filled their faces. But underneath that confidence, a quiet doubt remained. What if humans knew something the council didn't? A spy's report. The chamber doors slammed open. A young alien officer hurried inside. His face was pale. His hands shook. High Council, urgent report. Vorta frowned. Speak. The officer placed a hologram disc on the center table. A video blinked to life. It showed a human spaceport on the moon. Hundreds of human ships were preparing for movement. Engines were warming up. Pilots were boarding. Drones flew overhead. But the important part wasn't the ships. It was the humans. They were smiling. Every single one of them. Training calmly. Laughing quietly. Talking like the war was a festival, not a threat. The officer whispered, This is not normal behavior. A deep silence fell again. The council grows uneasy. Speaker Vorta rubbed his temples. Why aren't they afraid? Why don't they react? No one answered. One by one, screen feeds activated. Mars, Titan, Europa orbital stations, deep space outposts, all showing the same thing. The same calm. The same rhythm. The same frightening smile. The Krail Hive leader hissed, This is psychological warfare. Humans want to scare us. Commander Raltek shook his head slowly. This is not a trick, he said. This is preparation. I have led armies for 400 years. I know the look of a species that is ready to die for victory. The screens froze. The smiles remained. Raltek whispered, Humans are not afraid of war. They are preparing to enjoy it. Several aliens stepped back in fear. A secret history. Tarkhan Var stepped forward again and projected another file, a classified history record from early human studies. This, he said, is why humanity cannot be treated like other species. The record showed ancient human battles, wars on Earth long before space travel. Humans fighting with spears, with swords, with guns, with machines, with anything they had. The images showed one repeating thing. Humans smiling in the face of death. Tarkhan closed the record. For them, he said, the battle is not fear. It is challenge. Speaker Vorda frowned. You are saying humanity likes war? No, Tarkhan corrected. They hate war. But when war comes, they embrace it completely. He turned toward the hologram of Earth. And that is why they win. The ignored warning. Enough, shouted the Iron Dominion commander. Your old stories mean nothing. Yes, another shouted. Humans are weak, only loud. We have more ships. We have more firepower. They cannot win. The confidence returned, louder than before. Tarkhan sighed. You are all blind, he whispered. But no one listened. The council voted again. The war declaration stood firm. The first sign of trouble. Just as the leaders prepared to leave, another alert flashed across the chamber. Breaking news, human border systems, empty. All human patrols had vanished. Every human ship near the border disappeared from sensors. One leader spoke softly, terrified. Where did they go? No answer. Another leader whispered, why are they silent now? Still silence. Tarkhan's voice broke the tension. Because, he said, humans never fight in the open at the beginning. He looked at the council. They let their enemy make the first mistake. Vorda swallowed hard. And what mistake did we make? Tarkhan met his eyes. You declared war. The Galaxy Council expected chaos. They expected fear. They expected humans to cry or hide. But instead, humanity became quiet. Not weak quiet. Not scared quiet. A controlled, cold, confident quiet. A quiet that made the galaxy feel unsafe. A silent solar system. Reports flooded into the council chamber like a storm. Human colonies show no panic. Earth continues normal work cycles. No riots. No fear. No breakdown. This was impossible. Every other species reacted to war with panic. But humans? Humans acted like war was simply another day. The council tried to convince themselves that humanity was pretending, but deep down, they knew something else was happening. Something dangerous. The spy on Earth. A young alien spy named Sirakel was stationed secretly on Earth. She belonged to a species known for reading emotions perfectly. Humans were usually easy to read, too easy. Loud emotions, strong expressions, clear feelings. But today, Sira saw something she had never seen before. Calm. Not fake calm. Real calm. The type that comes from confidence. She stood on a crowded street in New York City, watching thousands of humans gather around giant news screens showing the council's war declaration. Children pointed at the screen with curiosity. Teenagers joked and laughed. Adults watched silently, their faces serious, but relaxed. No fear. Not even a moment of hesitation. Sira pressed her communicator. This is Agent Cal. Earth reaction report. The other end answered quickly. Speak. She swallowed nervously. Humans are smiling. The voice from the council side paused. Smiling? Out of fear. No, Sira whispered. Out of readiness. The true face of humanity. Sira watched a group of soldiers standing near a military checkpoint. They weren't panicking or rushing. They were stretching, warming up, checking gear slowly, like they were preparing for a sports event. One soldier noticed her watching. He smiled. You look nervous, he said. Sira tried to hide her shock. Aren't you scared? The soldier shrugged casually. Scared? Why? The whole galaxy declared war on you. He chuckled. That's their problem, not ours. Then he walked away. Sira stayed frozen. Humans weren't brave. They were beyond brave. They were something else. The council begins to worry. Back in the council hall, Speaker Vorda leaned back in his chair, watching all the reports. So, humans are not attacking, he said slowly. And they are not surrendering. Commander Raltek replied, they are waiting. For what? Raltek shook his head. For us. Vorda didn't like that answer. The council expected humans to strike first or negotiate. But humans were doing neither. They were simply preparing. And that was far more threatening. A pattern in the calm. The old historian Tarkhan Var re-entered the chamber carrying more files. I have studied human behavior during crisis, he said. There is a pattern. The room leaned in. When humans face something small, they panic like any species. But when humans face something impossible, something truly dangerous. He tapped the hologram. They become calm. The Krail Hive leader hissed, calm before what? Tarkhan answered softly. Calm before action. Some leaders laughed nervously, but no one truly found it funny. Humanity's preparation begins. Syrah continued her field observation on Earth. Human factories increased production. Shipyards glowed with sparks through the night. Cargo vehicles moved in perfect order. Spaceports launched transports every minute. But still, no chaos. Everything moved like a well-practiced machine. Even children helped pack supplies at community centers. Syrah sent more reports to the council. Humans are preparing, but they look excited. Excited? The council officer repeated. Yes, she said. Many humans say the same words again and again. She checked her notes. They say, we trained for this. We are ready. Let them come. The officer went silent. The human mind. At the United Human Command on Earth, the directors discussed the enemy. Director Hale studied the council's declaration on the screen. They think we will panic, he said. His second-in-command answered, should we send a message back? No, Hale said. Silence is our message. He smiled, calm and controlled. Let them fear what they do not see. Across the command room, dozens of tactical officers sat in silence, waiting for orders. No shouting. No confusion. Just quiet determination. Humans were not preparing for a small fight. Humans were preparing for a total fight. Aliens study the smiles. Several council species sent psychologists to analyze humanity's reaction. One report said, humans smile when stressed. Humans smile when angry. Humans smile before danger. Another report simply concluded, the smile is not weakness. It is the warning. Speaker Vorta stared at the report for a long time. This is terrifying. A growing fear. The council feared something they could not explain. Why were humans so calm? Because calm meant confidence. Confidence meant planning. Planning meant danger. And humans were planning something. Something big. Something silent. And the galaxy did not know what it was. Tarkhan Var said it best. Humans do not fear war. Humans fear nothing, when they have each other. The final sign. Later that night, the council received a final secret report. Human fleet movements detected. But destination unknown. Ships disappearing off long-range sensors. Vorta whispered, where are they going? Tarkhan answered without looking up. Humanity does not show their first move. They show their last one. The council chamber grew cold. Because humanity's calm was the calm before a storm. A storm the galaxy had never seen before. The Galaxy Council expected human fleets to rush forward after the war declaration. They expected angry messages, desperate pleas, or defense lines forming across the borders. But instead, something impossible happened. Humanity vanished. Their ships, their outposts, their border patrols, their scouts, all gone. One moment, thousands of human ships were visible on long-range scanners. The next moment, nothing. It was as if the humans had been swallowed by the dark of space. A quiet border. Commander Raltek stood in the council military chamber, staring at the empty border hologram. This is not normal, he said slowly. The border between human space and council territory had always been active. Patrols, trade ships, explorers, small military units. Now the space lanes look dead. It looks like they ran away, said one council officer nervously. Raltek shook his head. No. Humans don't run. They reposition. He zoomed the map out. More empty zones. It's a strategy, Raltek said. But I don't know which one. Syrah Kell's new discovery. Back on Earth, the alien spy Syrah Kell continued to send urgent reports. Human cities operate normally, she said. But something has changed. The council asked, what changed? Syrah replied, the silence. The streets were busy but quiet. Factories worked non-stop but quietly. Military bases were active but with controlled discipline. Humanity moved like a single living machine. No wasted motion. No unnecessary noise. No fear. Just purpose. Syrah couldn't understand it, but it scared her more than anything. The council escalates. The council gathered again. Speaker Vorta paced around the chamber, frustrated and uneasy. Where did the humans go? He demanded. No one answered. He slammed his fist. We must find them. Use scouts. Use probes. Deploy the fleets. The Iron Dominion commander nodded. Our ships are already moving. Within hours, thousands of council ships started scanning human space. When they reached the human border, they found nothing. No patrols. No defense stations. No communication. Empty. A council officer trembled. It feels like a ghost territory. The scouting mission. To solve the mystery, the council sent a small elite scout group into human space. 5 stealth ships. Top technology. Highly trained crews. Their mission: find out where humanity went. The scout ships crossed into human territory. The area felt abandoned, almost frozen in time. One scout captain whispered, "It's like humans never existed." But that wasn't true. Sensors detected faint energy trails. Old job logs. Dock structures still warm from recent use. Humans were here, recently. But not anymore. The scout team pushed deeper. The empty human worlds. The scouts first arrived at Haven Colony, a major human settlement. But when they entered orbit, their jaws dropped. The entire planet was empty. Cities perfectly intact. Lights still glowing in some towers. Machines still running. Food still warm in kitchens. But no humans. Not one. A scout whispered into the calm. "Where did they go?" Another replied, "Why did they leave everything so perfect?" They found no signs of panic or violence. Everything was organized as if humans had left calmly. Worse, they found the same thing on the Moon outposts, Mars settlements, and the Titan stations. Silent, empty, clean, prepared. The humans had moved, quickly, efficiently, like they were following a planned drill. A message left behind. In one of the abandoned human command centers on Mars, the scouts found a single glowing message on a screen. Just 3 words: "We are ready." The scout captain felt cold. This wasn't fear, he said. This was preparation. He reported the message back to the council chamber. When the hologram lit up with those words, a deep tension filled the room. Speaker Vorta whispered, "But ready, for what?" No one answered. Human silence grows louder. Across the galaxy, the same strange pattern appeared. Human communication channels went dark. Human transport routes vanished. Human beacons shut down. Human trading stopped completely. It was like humanity closed every window and locked every door. And then waited. The silence became so heavy that even the council military felt nervous. Commander Raltek finally said what everyone feared. "They are not hiding. They are preparing a strike." The human fleets move in the dark. Humanity's most advanced ships, hidden far beyond the border, began to gather together. Not in small groups. Not in patrol units. But in massive formations. Human commanders spoke quietly through encrypted channels. Group Alpha status? Ready. Group Sigma? Ready. All systems powered. Cloak field stable. Human fleet movements were invisible to standard sensors. The council had no idea what direction the humans were preparing to strike. But everyone sensed one thing. The silence was ending soon. The fear spreads. In the council hall, Tarkhan Var watched the border hologram glowing red. "We forced humanity into a corner," the old historian said. "And humans do not die in corners." The Krail Hive leader asked, "Then what do they do?" Tarkhan looked at the empty human border on the screen. "They attack." Speaker Vorta's voice shook. "But where? Where will they strike?" Tarkhan answered, "Where it hurts the most." Humanity leaves a final warning. Deep inside human space, scouts discovered one last abandoned outpost. On a wall was carved a single human phrase: "Do not follow us." The captain frowned. "Why?" Suddenly their sensors flashed with warnings. Unidentified energy signals. High power readings. Massive engines. Moving fast. Too fast. The scout captain's eyes widened. Human fleets, above us. But before they could react, the human ships vanished again. The galaxy didn't know it yet. But those fleets were moving toward their next target. The heart of the council. And nothing could stop them now. The Galaxy Council always believed that humanity was loud, emotional, and easy to read. But this silence, this calm, this strange behavior after the war declaration, none of it made sense anymore. And now things were getting worse. Because for the first time in recorded council history, an entire quadrant went dark. Every long-range scanner, every communication relay, every deep space probe, simply stopped receiving data from the outer edge of the Milky Way. No explosions were detected. No radiation spikes were found. No ships were seen moving in or out. It was as if something huge, something powerful, had quietly placed a hand over the sensors and whispered, "Not for your eyes." Inside the council command hall, Ambassador Terran stood in the center of the command room, his voice tight with fear. "Report again," he ordered. Tell me the human fleets are moving so we know what we're dealing with. But the technician only swallowed hard. No movement detected. No ships, no drones, no transmissions, he said softly. Human space is quiet. Too quiet. Counselor Grawl slammed his claws on the table. That's impossible, he shouted. Humans always move. They always talk. They always react. Why are they doing nothing? Another officer turned pale. Sir, they did react. Everyone turned toward him. How? Terran whispered. They shut down every scanner we pointed at their territory. They didn't attack them. They just turned them off. Like flipping a switch. The room fell silent. Because only two types of civilizations could do that. Ones who were playing games. Or ones who no longer cared who was watching. Humanity's quiet response. Across the stars, humanity was gathering. Not rushing. Not panicking. Not shouting. Just preparing. Every colony world was suddenly calm. Every space station entered silent mode. Every fleet went dark, but not offline. It was like watching a sleeping giant slowly breathe in. General Mara Hayes observed the growing activity from the Solar Command Tower. She stood with her hands behind her back, eyes sharp. Phase 1 is complete, her assistant reported. The Council has no idea what we're doing. Good, Mara said. Let them be afraid of the dark. Should we send a warning? Mara shook her head. No warnings. No threats. Silence is more powerful. Her assistant shivered. Because when humans chose silence, something terrible was coming. Back at the council chamber was now filled with shouting, panic, and confusion. They're hiding something. They're preparing a counterattack. No, they're waiting for us to move first. We must retreat. We must strike. We must negotiate. Terran raised both hands. Enough, he yelled. We cannot afford chaos. We need information. What do spy satellites show? A trembling analyst answered. Nothing. Humans blocked them too. What about stealth drones? They vanished. Counselor Grawl stared at him. Vanished? Yes, like they were never launched. Murmurs swept through the chamber. Then, suddenly, every central monitor flickered. A single notification appeared. Incoming transmission. Origin, Sol System. Sender, unknown. The council froze. The message. The screen lit up with a simple white room. No soldiers. No ships. No war banners. Just a single human sitting at a table, speaking calmly. Galaxy Council, the man said gently. We know you are watching. His tone was soft. Almost friendly. And that terrified the council more than any threat. You declared war on us, the man continued, but you forgot something important. He leaned closer to the camera. You don't understand humans. Terran's heart pounded. The man smiled faintly. You think we panic? You think we break? You think we fear you? His eyes hardened. But fear is not something you should expect from humanity. Not anymore. Static crackled around him. And you should stop scanning our borders. It is not safe. Not safe? For who? Grawl muttered. As if answering him, the human said. For anyone who isn't ready to accept what we've become. Then the screen went black. The chamber erupted again. What does that mean? What are they hiding? Why warn us? Why be calm? What if they already know our plans? Terran lifted his trembling hand. They want us scared, he whispered. And it is working. The dark horizon. That night, the council sent a final emergency drone toward the human border. A small one. Fast. Simple. Hard to detect. It shot across space like a needle of light. And then, silence. The drone feed went dark the moment it touched human territory. No explosion. No signals. No traces. Just gone. The last message it sent, half a second before disappearing, showed something strange. A shadow. A massive, faint outline of something bigger than any alien ship ever recorded. The analyst replayed the final frame again and again. It looks like wings, he said quietly. Metal wings. The council stared in horror. Because humanity was not preparing for war. Humanity was preparing for something far worse. The Galaxy Council did not sleep that night. Not one species. Not one military commander. Not one analyst. Every mind replayed the same terrifying image. A giant metal shadow with wings, spotted inside human space. No one knew what it was. No one knew how big it truly was. No one knew if it was a ship, a weapon, or something entirely new. But they all agreed on one thing. Humans were building something impossible. And whatever it was, they were hiding it from the entire galaxy. Fear in the council. The council chamber lights flickered as the morning session began. Terran looked exhausted, but he forced himself to stand. "We need answers," he said. "We need to know what the humans are doing." Counselor Grawl slammed his fists on the table. "They are preparing to destroy us," he roared. "Did you not see that giant shadow? It could swallow a fleet." Another counselor shook his head. "No, humans don't build giant weapons for fun. They build them when they are planning something big." "Like a counterattack? Like a warning?" another whispered. Terran sighed. "Humans don't warn. They act. Calmly. Quietly." A sudden alert interrupted him. "Alert, human fleet detected. Location, unknown. Trajectory, unknown." The council froze. They weren't supposed to be able to track anything human. So how was this fleet suddenly visible? Human space, the silent assembly. General Mara Hayes stood aboard the command deck of the Eclipse Vanguard, the flagship of the newly awakened fleet. "Status report," she said. "Shadow-class wings are active. Veil systems stable. All units ready for silent motion." The ship hummed softly, as if space itself was bending around it. This was not a normal ship. It was not even advanced by normal standards. It was something else. A new category of power. Humanity had not given it a normal name either. They called it the Umbra Project, a fleet made for silent war, invisible motion, and absolute control of space. Human engineers designed it after decades of studying alien aggression. "We could have ended wars long ago," Mara whispered. "We tolerated too much. Now humanity was done tolerating." She opened the fleet-wide channel. "All vessels, prepare the shadow engine." Across the armada, engines lit up, not with fire or plasma, but with dark shimmering light. It looked as though pieces of the night sky were attached to the ships. The fleet vanished into a long line of distorted space. But they were not moving toward the council. They were moving somewhere deeper, somewhere darker. The council misreads everything. A frightened officer read the new data aloud. Human fleet registered at 3 different locations simultaneously. Grawl stared at him. 3? How can a fleet be in 3 places? "They cannot," another scientist said. "This is impossible." The officer shook his head. "No, sir, it's not 3. It's hundreds. Maybe thousands." The room erupted in panic. "They're surrounding us. They're preparing a multi-front attack. No, they're blocking our escape routes." Terran raised his voice. "All of you calm down. We have no proof they are coming for us." But deep down, even he didn't believe his own words. He whispered to himself. "Humans, what are you doing?" The outer void, humanity's secret destination. The Umbra fleet soared past star systems, past nebulas, past anything the Council had ever charted. Their goal was not the Council. Not the border. Not revenge. Their destination was something older. Something that had been sleeping at the edge of the galaxy. The Eclipse Vanguard approached a region of dead stars, a place the Council believed was empty space. But humans knew better. "Shadow Gate detected," the navigator said. "It's waking." Mara nodded. "Good. We reach it before the Council learns the truth." A massive ring of black energy appeared, hidden behind layers of dust and dying starlight. The Shadow Gate. Once feared. Once abandoned. Once forgotten. But now humanity had reactivated it. "What if the Council follows us?" her assistant asked. "They won't," Mara said. "Their scanners can't see us. They will think we are moving toward them, not away." The assistant exhaled shakily. "So, what's in the Shadow Gate?" Mara's expression hardened. Something the galaxy never wanted to face again. The Council finally understands too late. Back in the Council, an emergency message appeared. "Warning, unknown gravitational disturbance at the edge of the galaxy. Possible human involvement." A scientist ran into the chamber, pale with fear. "The disturbance is massive," he shouted. "It's pulling energy from nearby stars. It's growing." Grawl shook. "They're building a mega-weapon." "No," Terran whispered. Everyone looked at him. "Terran, what do you think it is?" a counselor asked. He closed his eyes. "Something old. Something the humans found long ago. Something they kept hidden." The chamber fell silent. Because the truth was worse than any weapon. Humanity wasn't preparing to fight the Council. They were preparing to fight something else. Something the Council had been too afraid to mention for centuries. A forgotten enemy. A returning darkness. The Council had misread everything. Humanity's calm wasn't arrogance. Their silence wasn't a threat. It was preparation for a war the council didn't even know was coming. The shadow gate pulsed like a heartbeat in deep space. Dark energy stretched and curled around it, like giant tendrils waking from centuries of sleep. Humanity's Umbra fleet floated before it, silent, disciplined, and impossibly calm. General Mara Hayes stood at the front viewport, watching the gate open wider. "Status?" she asked. "Shadow energy stable," the technician replied. "But the gate is reacting to something inside." Mara nodded slowly. "It remembers us. Centuries ago, the first contact they all hid. The Galaxy Council had one terrible secret. Thousands of years before humanity joined the stars, the Council had fought something ancient in the outer dark. Not aliens. Not machines. Not gods. Something worse. The Devourers. They had no shape. No home. No reason. Only one instinct. Consume. The Council barely survived. Billions died. Entire species vanished. The Council hid the truth from the galaxy, fearing panic, collapse, and rebellion. But humanity found fragments of the old war. And unlike other species, humans did not run from darkness. They studied it, prepared for it, waited for it. Now the Devourers were waking again. Inside the Council chamber, collapse begins. "Explain this disturbance." Counselor Grawl shouted as alarms blared across the chamber. A scientist projected the latest data into the air. "Something is activating the ancient dark gate at the galactic rim. The energy signatures match old war records." Everyone went silent. Terran's eyes widened with disbelief. "That cannot be," he whispered. "We sealed that gate. We erased its coordinates. We destroyed the maps." "Yes," the scientist said. "But humanity found them." The room turned ice cold. "They know what is behind the gate," the scientist continued. "And they went there willingly." "Why?" someone cried. "Why would humans go toward that thing?" Terran answered softly. "Because they are not afraid of monsters. They hunt them." The shadow gate opens fully. Back near the gate, humanity's fleet hovered like a wall of darkness. The gate rippled like liquid metal as something massive moved behind it, too large to understand, too ancient to describe. The navigator whispered, "General, the Devourers are awake." A long, deep vibration echoed through space. No sound, just pressure. Like the universe itself shuddered. Mara narrowed her eyes. "We open fire only if they cross," she said. "Remember, the Umbra fleet was designed for this moment." Her second-in-command stepped forward. "But General, are we strong enough?" Mara smiled slightly. "We're humans. Our strength isn't in size or numbers. It's in one thing." She raised her hand. "We don't break." A voice from beyond. A distorted signal burst through the fleet's sensors. Not a word. Not a language. Just a feeling. Hunger. Every human on the bridge stiffened. It felt like claws scraping across their minds. Mara steadied herself. "They're testing us," she said quietly. "They want to know if we are prey." She leaned forward toward the screen. "Send a message," she ordered. "What message, General?" Mara's eyes hardened. "Tell them. We are not prey. We are the species that survived itself. If they want this galaxy, they go through us first." The communications officer transmitted it. Then the trembling stopped. The pressure vanished. And for the first time, the Devourers responded. A shape emerged from the gate. A colossal creature of shifting matter and glowing veins. A living shadow the size of a small moon. The bridge went silent. The creature stopped just inches from the boundary of the gate, but did not cross. Then, slowly, it retreated. The gate dimmed, then sealed. The entire fleet stared in shock. "They pulled back," the navigator whispered. "Why?" Mara exhaled. "Because they saw something new." "What?" "Humanity. United. Prepared. Calm." She turned away from the viewport. "They've never faced prey that bares its teeth." The council realizes their mistake. Back in the council, a message appeared. Transmission from the Sol system. The chamber trembled. "Put it through," Terran ordered. A recording of Mara Hayes appeared, calm, controlled, fierce. "To the Galaxy Council," she said. "Your war against us is irrelevant now. Something older has awakened." The counselors leaned forward, breathless. "We are containing it," she continued. "Do not interfere. Do not send fleets. Do not scan the rim." She paused. "And do not assume we did this for you." Her gaze sharpened. "We did this because we live here too." The message ended. The council sat frozen. Some relieved. Some terrified. Some ashamed. Terran whispered, "We picked a fight with the wrong species." But in the outer dark, as humanity prepared to withdraw, the sensors blinked again. A second signal. Different. Stronger. The Devourers were not retreating permanently. They were watching. Waiting. Judging. And the last readout said, "The Devourers have marked humanity as worthy prey." General Mara.